everybody, and welcome to CasaLoud Chats, a podcast dedicated to Nickelodeon's The Casagrandes and the Loud House universe. And I'm your host, Sunny. And welcome to episode 39 of CasaLoud Chats. And we are back. Oh, wow. We are back to the podcast. Oh, hello, everybody. How you been doing? It's been a while since I've done one of these, hasn't it? Well, you know, with school coming to an end slowly, I've been trying to focus on schoolwork, and also the Loud House and the Casagrandes haven't had any new episodes or any news or anything to talk about with doing a podcast, so a lot of us have been taking a break from the show to do other things and focus on school and stuff. But now we finally have a lot of other news to discuss, and since I've been gone from the podcast, there's a few things I want to discuss that I haven't talked about since I left for a little break between the shows and doing schoolwork. But now that I'm back, we can finally talk about lots of news for the Loud House and the Casagrandes. But most importantly, this week we are getting the big Loud House and Casagrande crossover special, Curse, which is in the Casagrandes, so it's the Casagrandes and the Loud House, but it's the big crossover special we've all been waiting for. We finally have an air date for it. Since the last time I talked about it, we didn't have an air date. Now we officially do. We've had it for a couple of weeks, but now we finally know when the episode's airing in Nick, so we're going to talk about it, of course, and we did get a promo. That's the thing. We've all been waiting to get a promo for this special, and I don't know why Nickelodeon took forever for this promo to come out, but we finally have one, so we're going to break that down and also talk about some other news that came out for the Loud House and the Casagrandes. Since we are getting new episodes after this special, we are getting new episodes in December, but I'll get to that in a second. So with our next news alert episode, let's get into some Casa news! So like I said on the top of the show, this week we are getting the brand new Casagrande special, Curse, which is going to be a Casagrande and Loud House crossover special. A big special we've all been anticipating ever since we saw that sneak peek back in October from Nickelodeon Australia that showed us that this special was going to be a crossover with the Louds and the Casagrandes, where the Casagrandes are staying with the Louds. This has so much potential, and we've been waiting to get a promo trailer, air date for this special coming out in the US, but then it held it off, and now we finally know when it's airing. It is going to be airing this week. Well, as I record this, it's going to be this episode's coming out on Friday, but it's coming out this Wednesday, November 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it's also going to be doing reruns at 3, 5, and 7 all day, which is good because, well, Nickelodeon took a really long time to promote the special, which we were all kind of upset about because, again, it's the only episode of the Casagrandes that's airing this month, and it's, of course, a big crossover with the Loud House, so you'd think they'd probably hype it up a lot. But because November was jam-packed of all their live-action stuff, like they had the premiere Astronauts and the Side Hustle, and they also promoted new SpongeBob and new It's Pony, which is great because they're promoting It's Pony. With all that stuff coming together, the Casagrandes, I guess, was just the special was kind of well, we can't cram all these promos in now. So yesterday, Thursday, they finally aired a promo for Curse for the official, premiering of it in the US. Now, sadly, I found out this news yesterday as well, is that this special, Curse, is going to be airing early 2 days before us in Latin America. And Latin America doesn't have an English dub of it, sadly. So for me, and I want to say for everybody out there's probably going to be people who are going to be watching it because I know the Latin American American community in the Loud House of Casagrande fandom is pretty big. So for those of you who are in Latin America and are able to watch this episode early, please do not spoil, post images, out of context stuff, any spoilers, please do not say until the 25th, because most of us want to stay away from spoilers. Because usually I want to see stuff early, like the special that I've been anticipating for a long time, but since there's not going to be an English version, as I know of, there's no way there's not going to be one, I am going to try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, because I've been waiting to see this episode for a very long time, and I was worried that this episode was going to premiere early in another country, and sadly it is. I mean, it's 2 days before, so it's not really a big deal, but as for me with that, on the 25th, on the 23rd, I will be taking a hiatus from social media, from Discord and Twitter, maybe even Instagram, but mostly those two places, to avoid spoilers as much as possible for 2 days, which is going to be pretty hard for me. But I'm worried that somebody will show something or post something without courtesy. Like some people will stay away, they'll be courteous and be like, I won't post spoilers, but there'll be that one person that really wants to post something out of context to ruin it for us. So at this point, it's fine, guys. Just wait till the US premieres on the 25th. It's only 2 days. Stay away from spoilers. Get off of Twitter, Discord on the 23rd and the 24th. That's what I'm gonna do to stay away. And then the 25th, it's at 1 p.m. It's early. We can watch it, and then we can all freak out about it. And whoever saw it early, can say, well, yeah, we knew you would like this part. But yeah, so again, for us, again, November 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are getting this big crossover special, of course. I mean, it's hyped up as a crossover, but the Loud part, like the part with the Loud family coming in, is going to be the second half of the special. We don't know what's happening in the first half, obviously, but we've seen a lot from the second half. Mainly the part where Rosa tells the family that she wants them to leave right away. There's a part where Rodian, her face suddenly turns into Ernesto, him convincing Rosa that they have to leave right away. And so that's when, Lori comes in and convinces, the Casagrandes to stay with the Louds. And we also have a promo to break down with that. So again, we don't know anything else much about it or why Rosa thinks that the entire city is cursed thanks to Ernesto. But I've had predictions about it when it comes to Ernesto as a character, because Ernesto in Horoscope, where he was first introduced, was more of a plot device. He wasn't really used as like a main character. We didn't see him like interacting with the other main characters other than being a hallucination of Rodian's imagination, projecting onto her that maybe Lincoln would be in love with her. It was like her brain projecting Ernesto into her brain and like telling her that this would happen, which didn't happen, obviously. But I know Ernesto could be a real person, but in that case, he was more of a plot device where he didn't interact with the main characters, just in like a hallucination. Whereas here again, Rosa's imagining Ernesto telling her that the whole city is cursed thanks to whatever he said or however she finds out about it. So it's just her again projecting his image into her imagination. So I feel like, again, Ernesto won't be like an actual character in this episode. Again, he'll be just be a plot device. But after seeing the title card, which by the way, we also got the title card today, which is very, very exciting, of course. He has a bigger presence on the title card than he did at Horoscope, because at Horoscope he was more like in the shadows and hidden away on the side, whereas it was more about Rosa and Roddy and Lincoln were on the little cards, whereas in the title card for Cursed, he is more present there. Like he's actually in the foreground with the characters, with Rosa, Roddy and Carl, Sergio, Bobby, I think CJ are in the car together as Rosa's trying to bring them, like trying to drive them away from Ernesto, but he's looming on top of them. And I'm wondering when we get the full title card, will we see like maybe the Louds in the background, or maybe the house in the background as they're like driving towards the house? Because again, the Louds are playing a huge role in this episode, mainly the second part where they live with the Louds. So I feel like they would be part of the title card. But again, not all of the family of the Casagrandes are in that title card, just a bunch of them in the car. So I'm wondering how else that'll go. But again, it was super cool getting that title card today, because again, I was wondering what the title card would be, and I was thinking, well, it's probably just going to be Rosa and Ernesto, but it was cool to also get a bunch of the other Casagrandes and Ronnie and Bobby with Rosa in the car driving away to try to stay away from Ernesto, but he's just looming on top of them, which is super cool. So that was really neat. But we are going to get into breaking down the Curse promo. We finally have a Curse promo. This is very, very exciting. We've all been praying that Nickelodeon would give us a Curse promo, and now we have one. So let me just go to my source here on Twitter from Kevin Nagarin. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he posted the HD promo because originally someone recorded just a recording of it, but now we have it in HD. So we're going to break down this promo. Alright, so the first part of the promo has clips from the sneak peek that we already saw, where we see the Louds and Casagrandes finally together, and they showed up at the Loud house, and they're all together now, and they're like, oh, who's ready to eat with Rosa and Lynn Sr.? So that part we've already seen. Then we see a clip of, I think it's Rosa, Bobby, Frida, Carlos, I think it's them, in either in a barrel or a garbage can, floating down the stairs as like the water's dripping down the stairs, and all the water floods out of the house, and the only like Loud family member that pops out of the house besides the other Casagrandes, oh, and Hector's there too, is Luann for some reason. And that's like, that when I saw that part, that's the biggest what the heck is happening in this special that I'm still thinking about. Like, what happened there? Like, why are they just like stuck in a can? It looks like a can or a garbage can, and they're floating down the stairs as if like maybe somebody flooded the bathroom, because again, they're all gonna have to share one bathroom. That's the thing now because like you had like, you know, a ton of people in this house sharing one bathroom already, but now we have more people sharing this bathroom, which is going to be really crazy to see how they're able to handle this. Because in the next scene after that, we do get a scene where they all are waiting in line for the bathroom, and we see Ronnie and Carlota, Carl, Lana, Luna, I think, and then Lori and Bobby at the front. Now, you know, I love Lori and Bobby, of course, and they have to be super present in this special. Oh, Lynn's there too, and they have to be very present in the special. But Lori and Bobby, do you really have to gush over each other during in the line for the bathroom when everybody else has to go? Like, Bobby's like, you're my number one, and Lana's like, I have to go number two. Like, yeah, guys, you have plenty of other time to make kissy faces at each other and gush over each other and stuff any other time, not in line for the bathroom where everybody has to literally go. Like, guys, go get an actual room, you know, like go make out in Lori's room, you know, that's where you have to go. And then after that little scene there, we get a very important scene, which I think is a really, really, really interesting scene, of course, where there's a bunch of the family members trying to sit on the couch together. Now, I need to get to that part because I don't remember who's sitting with each other at that part, so it's going to be right here. Just give me a second. I'm going to pause it. Yeah. So here we have a bunch of the family members trying to sit on the couch, and it's a very odd mixture of characters here, because you see Lori on the couch, but Bobby's not there, so I'm wondering why Bobby wouldn't be sitting next to Lori, obviously. She's next to Carlota. So here we have Lucy, who's just standing in the background for some reason. She just looks like she doesn't want to be there. I don't know why she's just standing there. Then we have CJ, Lynn is sitting on the floor. We have Lori, of course, and then Carlota, Luna, and Lenny, who are just sitting or just standing in the back of the couch for some reason. And I like Lenny just like leaning on top of like Lisa's head. Again, I don't know why she's there. And then Luann is also there. But then we have Lola and Carl, who are in the middle, and they're just like fighting and bickering. I think that's what's going to be their whole stick throughout the episode. It's just Lola and Carl fighting. Because there's also another scene we're going to talk about where you'd see like a fight cloud in the background, and it's Lola and Carl. So they're going to be like bickering out the entire special, which I don't know if I like that, but you know, they have to put some comedy in there, so whether it's Lola and Carl just being, like, really mean to each other and just bickering and stuff, that'll be funny, you know. It'll be interesting how they'll be able to, like, make up or something. But then we have two other interesting pairings in this post here. We have Carlitos and Lily, who are right next to each other, and that is really precious. Like, I love seeing Carlitos and Lily together. Like, it feels so strange seeing them side by side, but they're just sitting next to not next to each other, but they're sitting by each other on the floor. They're probably, like, having a little play date, which is super cute. And then, of course, we have Roddy and Lincoln sitting next to each other on the chair on the right, which, thank you for giving us that. Thank you very much. Like, when I saw the promo, I literally, my heart stopped when I saw Roddy and Lincoln sitting next to each other. Like, that is so cute. Like, I'm so glad they gave us that. Like, I guess, like, you know, like, after we get, like, that whole cute moment of Lincoln showing Ronnie and the gum trick, or, them being, like, together, eating dinner together. That's, like, the only moments they get together and they just, like, sit next to each other in the background and don't really get any interaction. I guess that'll be okay, Last Thanksgiving had that same issue where we just got Punk Loser, and then they were just in the background standing next to each other. And that's literally all we get throughout this special. I guess, that'll be fine. Like, I don't want to have high expectations that they'll have, like, a subplot or anything. Burster would say, what if Roddy King gets a little subplot in the special? And I'm like, maybe, but I don't know. I don't want to have high expectations for Roddy King. I mean, I'll just be happy just seeing them next to each other the whole time, because, again, they were sitting next to each other at the dinner table, and they're sitting next to each other here. I'm just saying, like, they're giving us those little hints that they just like to be next to each other. Because, again, Bobby's not on the scene with Lori, and he should be. But then we just got that mushy scene with them anyway, so I guess that doesn't matter. But then we get to another very interesting scene where we see Ronnie and CJ, Luann, and Luna brushing their teeth in the bathroom. Which, again, this is the craziest thing, seeing Ronnie Ann next to Luann, like, seeing Ronnie Ann next to the Loud family members is, like, the craziest thing to me. And I know I shouldn't say that because, again, we've seen Ronnie Ann with the Louds, like, with Loudest Thanksgiving and even Don't You Forget About Me, but seeing her actually, like, next to one of them and maybe interacting with them, but I think here she's talking to CJ about, oh, we don't have to sleep on the floor. So, but again, it's just so weird. And, like, there's a really strange animation error where Luann has a big head. And, again, like, I don't know why they keep, like, messing with the height differences of characters, but that's really inconsistent, It's like when they accidentally made Luna too tall in Loudest Thanksgiving. It's like the sequel episode needed another animation error. But, again, it's just so weird that the Casagrandes are staying over with the Louds, and they're going to be, like, sleeping in different areas. And talking about that, the next scene, the last scene in the promo, is where we see Ronnie Ann bunking with Rosa and Hector. Which, most of us are very disappointed by that, because we wanted Ronnie Ann and Lincoln to be roommates. But after seeing, like, this, and by the way, they're in Lucy's room. Lucy and Lynn's room, they're sleeping in Lucy's bed, because when you see the bed, next to the bed, it has Edgar Allan Poe posters, like poem posters, so they're sleeping in Lucy's bed. So I'm wondering if maybe the Louds actually have to give up their bedrooms to the Casagrandes, and they're just randomly putting them in different places, because again, like, Ronnie Ann is just, like, bunched in there with Rosa and Hector, like, maybe they didn't know where else to put her. So it's like, okay, you could either have the floor, or you could just sleep with your grandparents. And she's like, okay, I guess I'll do that. But she looks super uncomfortable. Like, she probably didn't want this. Like, she didn't decide on this. They just, like, put her there, and that's what you could do. Because, again, like, I'm wondering if, again, Lincoln probably gave away his room to the boys, like Carl, CJ, or Bobby, or something, like, But, again, Rosa and Hector are sleeping together here with Ronnie Ann, which, I mean, I know they're married, so that makes sense, but it's just so weird to see them sleeping in Lucy's bed, Because, again, I thought they would have, like, again, slept on the floor, or found another spot for them to sleep, or, maybe take Lisa's bunker or something. But maybe they just felt so bad for the Casagrandes. They're like, okay, we'll give away, like, maybe Lindsay and Rita were like, well, we can't just have you guys sleep on the floor. We'll give away our kids' beds, which, maybe the Louds don't really want that, but, they don't want to be rude about it. It's like, oh man, I have to give away my bed to the Casagrandes, but oh well, they're our guests, so we have to be polite about it. Because when looking at the scene where all the family members are sitting on the couch here, there is an interesting thing where you see Ronnie and Lincoln next to each other, and Lincoln is sitting in a weird position, like he has his hands, like his arms folded on the side of the couch, and I'm wondering if maybe he actually was sleeping down there, like downstairs, because he had to give away his room to one of the family members. So maybe they actually decided to have the Loud sleeping somewhere else, like again, like maybe the couch, or they had to sleep downstairs, and Lincoln's not getting a lot of sleep because he had to give away his bed. And again, Ronnie Ann looks super guilty there, like she feels bad that this whole thing isn't working out and stuff. So that's what my main prediction is now, because I thought about I had two predictions for this episode, but then after seeing this, I have one prediction. My first prediction was that maybe, the Casagrandes had decided that after, living with the Louds and, like, everything's not working out and stuff, they hate it there and they all meet up and they all talk about how much they hate living with the Louds. And that's when, like, Lori and or Lincoln overhear that and they decide to give just to decide to round up the whole family and make this the best visit the Casagrandes ever had. But after seeing this scene and seeing how Ronnie looks super guilty about this, maybe she is the one that, like, rounds up the entire family and tells Rosa that, like, we are, like, being terrible guests to the Louds, like, we're messing up everything. We flood their house, we ate their food, Carl and Lola just can't stop fighting, we took their beds, like, we're being terrible guests, like, we can't live with the Louds because it's too much chaos. Lincoln can't get any sleep because it's even more loud than it should be, like, she's the one that decides that maybe this isn't the best for them, and Rosa's trying to, like, convince them that there's still going to be a curse in the city for how long the curse is, because again, we don't know how long the curse is, because Lori said she's only there for the weekend, so I assume they're staying for 2 days. But if they decide to leave, then they probably need to go to another place so they don't feel like they're a burden to the Louds. Because again, this is a Casagrande episode, so I'm wondering if, again, Ronnie and here, she's recognizing that this is just not working out and she wants to leave because, again, she doesn't want Lincoln's family to hate them again, because in last Thanksgiving, they all worked things out and Lindsay and Rita were like, we never say no to the Casagrandes. But if this whole thing isn't working out and everybody's just fighting and not getting along, then maybe that's when either Ronnie and or Rosa, or maybe Ronnie and telling Rosa, they just gotta go, they just can't do this, because they want to stay, but it's just too much to handle, and so maybe they'll find another place to hide from Ernesto, or maybe the Louds help them find another place to hide or something. But I was thinking about, if the Casagrandes decide to leave after they feel guilty for how much trouble they've caused the Louds, once they decide to leave, maybe the Louds, like of course Lori would probably be super upset and be like, no, Boo Boo Bear, don't go, and maybe Lincoln tries to convince Ronnie in that he doesn't want her to leave. It's not her fault that this whole thing is just going on because we're living with two chaotic families, when you put you two together, there's going to be more chaos than ever. But again, this whole thing happens in the second half of the episode, and it's going to be a lot to cram in the second half. It's like Loudest Thanksgiving, where we have an establishing first act of what's going to happen, then we move on to the crossover, because in Loudest Thanksgiving, they're trying to convince Bobby and Lori not to leave their families until the Casagrandes come to the Loud House in the second half. This is going to be where the second half is where they're going to the Loud House, and this whole thing is going to happen, all this chaos is going to happen. But the first half, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Like, I think Nino had said this on Discord, and I was thinking about it too. Maybe Rosa finds out about the curse super early. Like, she finds it out way in the beginning of the episode, and then Rodian overhears this, and she, like, tries to round up everybody and says, no, we can't have Rosa thinking that the whole city is cursed. We can't leave. We can't go. Like, maybe she'll say, like, there's no way Rosa can believe, like, there's no way that Abuela can believe that Ernesto is all right about this curse happening. He thought that Lincoln was in love with me, which wasn't true. Like, if she doesn't mention horoscope, then you don't tie those two episodes together. Because again, Ernesto's from horoscope, which was the Roddykin episode, and there's Roddykin in this episode where Ernesto comes back. I'm just saying, you gotta tie those two together. Even though I'll feel the most, like, secondhand embarrassment just being like, oh yeah, Lincoln, I thought that Lincoln was in love with me and that didn't happen. Like, I'll feel such the biggest secondhand embarrassment. But again, it will tie together with the two episodes, because again, I'm just saying, you just tie those knots together. But yeah, again, it was so amazing getting this promo, and we're probably gonna get so much more promotion, clips, sneak peeks, whatever before Wednesday, because there's a few days till the specials. There's probably going to be a lot to come out for this. And again, it's airing 2 days early in another country, and I'm going to try to stay away. But remember that the Cursed special from the Casagrandes is going to be airing this Wednesday, November 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you miss it, they'll be airing it 3 more times, 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 7 p.m. on that day. But again, don't miss it. It's the big Casagrande Loud House crossover. It's literally the sequel to Loudest Thanksgiving, but it's probably going to be even better than Loudest Thanksgiving. Just from this, it already seems better than Loudest Thanksgiving, so we have a lot to look forward to. I'm just saying, it's going to be super big and super hyped, and we can't wait for it. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. After waiting for so long to get any news about Curse, we finally have news for it, and it's very, very exciting, so I can't wait to see how they're going to pull off this big crossover special that we've been anticipating for a very, very long time. Alright, so that was very exciting, very, very exciting news to finally get lots of news about Curse, of course. Finally getting the promo and finally having confirmation of when the episode is coming out. So let's jump over to some more episode news. We are getting episodes in December. That's a first, well, in a long time. It's been a very long time since we got an episode in December. The last time we got episodes in December was like in 2017 with Snow Way Out and Snow Way Down. But we are officially getting episodes in December, the first for the Casagrandes, not the first for the Loud House, first for the Casagrandes. We are getting episodes in December, the first week of December, by the way. So these are going to be the last episodes we're getting of 2020, but they are going to be very special episodes as they are Christmas-related episodes. So let's talk about the first episode that's airing on the 5th, because there's going to be 2 episodes airing on the 5th, which is the Casagrandes are starting first with their special, A Very Casagrandes Christmas. We are getting a Casagrande Christmas episode! So let's talk about it. So, Ronnie is excited for the perfect Christmas, but visits from the neighbors put her dream, Nochebuena, on hold. Nochebuena is basically like their Christmas. It starts on the 24th, I think. So, basically, I feel like this is going to be the Casagrande version of Level Out to Leaping, because the sneak peek picture we got, which, by the way, they gave to us before they gave us anything for Curse. Like, they posted these on the Instagrams, and then they deleted them. Because they totally forgot there's supposed to be a special airing this month, because Nickelodeon clearly forgot to promote it until now, so absolutely they know. But they actually did show us pictures from these episodes. And from the Casagrande Christmas episode special, or the very Casagrande Christmas promo picture, we have a lot of the family members and neighbors here, with Bobby, who's playing the guitar, to Mr. Hong. And this, and of course, this really reminds me of Level Out to Leaping, the ending of Level Out to Leaping with the song. I bet it's just going to be mirroring that ending, where they're all going to be singing like Christmas carols to something, or maybe they'll have the same storyline as Mr. Grouse in Level Out to Leaping with Mr. Hong somehow, because again, this is definitely the same parallel to Level Out to Leaping with that. But I hope they have something different with it, and it's not the same as Level Out to Leaping, because I'm not sure how it's going to go. I just feel like, Ronnie Ann's really excited about her first Christmas in the city, but then, like, everything gets messed up, like, people keep visiting and doing their own traditions and not going her way and stuff. She kind of gets stressed about it, but then they all come together in the end to, celebrate Christmas in their own special ways, whether they celebrate it or not, And it's nice again to see Arturo in the crowd here. Of course, they're remembering Arturo exists, which is good, and we see Sid there, which is nice. We see her family, Adelaide and her parents. We see some of the neighbors, but not a lot of the Casagrande family members. We see Rosa and Hector, Arturo, of course. There's Carl and CJ. But again, and Carlitos, and then Roddy, and then Bobby, and Sergio. But again, I don't know where all the others are, unless they're just getting ready for other things. But I'm very, very excited that we're getting our first Christmas episode for the Casagrandes, and how they're going to pull it off. Because again, with Level Out to Leaping, Bobby decided to package himself for Lori for Christmas. So here, he's not going to be doing that. I hope not. I hope he's staying for the entire special and doesn't, ship himself off to the Louds again, Like in Loudest Thanksgiving, where Hector was like, what, Bobby wants to spend Christmas with them too? Yeah, no, that's not happening. I would love if maybe the Louds appeared for a bit, I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby, texts Lori to wish her a happy Christmas or something, and we see, her, getting ready with her family or something. That'd be super nice. Or maybe, Roddy Ann, packs a gift for Lincoln to send out to him. That'd be super cute. or Bobby, but I'm not having high expectations for that. But I'm really, really excited for this special overall, just to see how they can pull off a Christmas special and what it's going to be about. Because again, that description is so vague, and we don't know much about it yet. I think we'll probably get a promo for it after Curse airs on the 25th. We'll probably get a promo. But again, with Nickelodeon, I'm not sure because they took forever with the Curse promo. But I think because they are going to air a lot, but not much. But hopefully we'll get a promo very early so they don't make the same mistake as they did with Curse. But we'll definitely get something about it. But already getting this promo picture, there's a lot of potential with this. Although, Ronnie and Sweetie, you should be wearing pants. I don't know why you're wearing tights and your shoes. You should be wearing boots, Sweetie. It's cold outside. I'm just saying. And Sid's not wearing gloves. I don't know. That's probably a goof. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for this. I can't wait to talk about it because again, it's happening December. It's the first ever Casagrandes episode we're getting in December. And I think after this and the Loud House one, we're going to go on hiatus for 2020, which will be great because we end 2020 on 2 Christmas episodes, which will be very nice. So I can't wait for this one. And then after the Casagrandes special, the Christmas special, we get 2 brand new Loud House episodes that are Christmas related. So let's talk about them. Yeah, I know there's one I don't want to talk about, but we have to. The first one is Season's Cheating. Lincoln tries to rig the family gift swap and ends up learning a valuable lesson. That's the most simple description I've ever heard in my life. Because the thing is, they already spoiled the ending. Lincoln learns a valuable lesson. I mean, yeah, that's what he's supposed to learn, not spoilers, Nickelodeon. But yeah, a lot of people have been discussing this episode and worried about it, especially with the portrayal of Lincoln and how he's going to be messing up the gift swap. Now, of course, as one of the big Lincoln fans in the fandom, you guys need to understand Lincoln is a selfish kid. He can be very selfish, make mistakes. He's 12 years old. He's a kid. They do this kind of stuff. And I hate that the fandom always is like, oh my god, why is Lincoln doing season 1 stuff? Why is he so selfish? Because he's a kid. I get it. I get it with the show that, he's learned this lesson before. But again, a slice of life show, you're going to learn valuable lessons in a slice of life kids show. And again, Lincoln is a role model to various kids around the world. So he is going to have to teach kids that messing with a gift swap is not okay. But I think this is a very interesting take on the Lincoln selfish plot kind of thing. Because again, with a gift swap, it kind of reminds me of Sweet Spot in the way from season 1, where, they're going to be doing this gift swap. And if Lincoln gets somebody that obviously he knows a lot, like what they're going to get, obviously he knows what they want, that's great. But he's probably worried that who he gets won't get him the gift that he wants. Maybe he wants a new video game. And maybe if, I don't know, Lenny... Well, probably Lenny would get him a perfect gift, because Lenny's good at gifts. But, maybe, I don't know, Luann, maybe he gets Luann or Lynn, and they don't get him the right gift that he wants. He's worried that whoever he gets won't get him the gift that he wants, and that's why he probably wants to switch up things. That way, the person that gets him... the person that gets him will get him the right gift that he wants. Because I've seen this before in other cartoons, they swap out the, gift exchange, names with whoever, is going to pick it, it'll be that person's name. So I think maybe Lincoln will try to get Lenny or Lori, somebody who could get him the perfect gift that he wants. But then he probably learns in the end that he shouldn't do that, and everybody else probably gets the worst gifts that they could possibly get from each other. I don't know if they've ever done this gift swap thing before. Maybe it's a new thing for them that they've never done before. So the first time they ever do this, and all their gifts are messed up, and Lincoln is the one to blame. Yeah, I could see them being very upset at that. But again, I can understand from a kid's perspective that, again, if there's a new gift, if there's a new thing that he wants, a new video game or toy or something, and he's desperate for it, and he's like, okay, maybe the person that gets me will get me that gift, but I want to make sure it's the right person, not somebody who will get me something silly or something that I won't like. That he's probably going to want to swap things out. But again, I just say, guys, just calm down. Don't worry about it. have an opinion about it once you see the episode. And if you don't like it, that's okay. I understand, Lincoln's selfish episodes can be hit or miss, but he's my boy, and I will, what is the word I'm looking for? I will recognize that he's selfish and shouldn't be doing this. Because I recognize that. He shouldn't be doing this, but again, I know he's a kid, and kids do this. So again, let's just, see for ourselves if this episode is good or not. And if you judge it, based on that and don't like it, that's okay. I won't judge you for it. But will you judge me for not liking it? I don't know. If I like it, I like it. That's okay. So let's just see what happens when the episode comes out. And finally, the last Loud House episode that's coming out for the Christmas episodes is a Flip Miss Carol. Yes, I finally have to talk about the Flip Christmas Carol episode. Because I totally love talking about Flip, guys. I love Flip so much. So it's so great that he's getting another episode after we just had one about him. Fantastic. Anyway, a Scrooge-like Flip is visited by 3 ghosts as a special take on the Christmas Carol. Now, again, as much as I despise Flip with every passion of my being, I think this is the perfect place for Flip. This is the perfect role for him because he is technically the Scrooge of the Loud House. But again, I don't think this episode will be canon. It'll just be a retelling of Christmas Carol. It won't be canon. It won't give Flip any character development. And even if it does, he'll just go back to being the way he was. Because again, Loudest Thanksgiving tried to give him character development, but then he turned into a 180. I don't think it's going to make him any better than he is right now. It's probably going to make him even more worse. But, they could make him likable in this episode just from like, oh, hey, I finally, learned to not be a Scrooge, as I am. But then they'll probably just turn around and still make him comic relief. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it as I wasn't Blinded by Science, and Blinded by Science still made the fact that Flip is a horrible human being and shouldn't exist. But again, the Loud House crew love him and put him in everything. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in Cursed. I wouldn't be surprised at all, man. But, it's just, I'm really looking forward to it. I know that the 3 ghosts are supposed to be Lisa, Lynn, and maybe Lori? I know one of them is Lisa. I just don't know who the other 2 are. Which would make sense because we just had an episode with Lisa and Flip. But I feel like Lucy will be the ghost of Christmas Future. Because obviously the ghost of Christmas Future is always death. So yeah. But, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just wondering who's going to play Bob Cratchit. I think it should be Lincoln. But I'm afraid that it's going to be Bobby because Lori can be, who is it, Mary Cratchit or what's her name? Mrs. Cratchit's wife. But it's like, yeah, because they're dating, so it has to be Lori and Bobby. But I want it to be Lincoln, and I want Mrs. Cratchit to be Roddy Ann as much as I want that, because it makes sense for him to be Bob Cratchit. But they probably won't give him a Mrs. because obviously Lincoln doesn't have a girlfriend. But, I can still dream, can't I? If they did that, if they had Lincoln playing Bob Cratchit and Roddy Ann playing Mrs. Cratchit, then everything would be worth it. I would tolerate that episode, but it's going to be Lori and Bobby, I just know it. But Tiny Tim? I don't know, maybe Carlitos or probably Lily. She would be like Tiny Tammy or something. I don't know how it's going to go. We won't know until we see it. But we did get a sneak peek photo from Seasons Cheating, which is them all opening up their little gift exchanges for their Secret Santas. So Lori's there for Christmas, so we see that Lori's visiting for the holidays during her break from school, which is really nice. Because again, this takes place in season 5 when everybody's aged up, because Lily's still in her little, t-shirt and shorts. So nice to see that Lori's here and not, visiting Bobby for the holidays or whatever. Again, I will expect a Bobby cameo in this episode because, Lori's probably going to be like, I wonder what Bobby's getting me for Christmas. Yeah, I know. I love Lobby Man, but they're still so, overused in the show. But again, they're the main couple, what can you do? But yeah, I'm really very excited for both of these Christmas episodes, as much as I'll despise the Flip one whenever part of my being. It'll still be really great to get 2 Christmas episodes from the Loud House and the Casagrandes, and I forgot to say when those are airing. So yes, those 2 episodes, the first one being the Casagrandes, a very Casagrande Christmas, and the 2 Loud House Christmas related episodes will air Saturday, December 5th at 7 p.m. So the Casagrandes will be they're first with their special, and then the Loud House will be at 7:30. So you get December 5th, those 2 episodes, don't miss them. They're going to be really great. Then in some other news, Nickelodeon had posted their Nickmas news, which you have a bunch of, they discussed a bunch of things that are happening with various shows, and with various shows having Christmas-related and holiday-related episodes and things like that. But there is something that is related to the Loud House and the Casagrandes. Their Nickmas special. It's going to be the All-Star Nickmas special. The All-Star Nickmas Spectacular is going to be on Saturday, November 28th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be having a bunch of random Nickelodeon guest stars, from various shows and, celebrities and things like that. Probably just putting on like a variety show, like musical numbers and doing stuff. But they're also going to be having Lincoln and Ronnie Ann appearing in this Nickmas special. Lincoln, Ronnie Ann, and Lucy appearing in this special. But they showed a promo for this, and they showed Lincoln there, but they also showed that SpongeBob is going to be there. I think it's just going to be reused animation for SpongeBob, because he's in the, the claymation, not the stop motion animation for one of his specials. And same thing with Lincoln and Ronnie Ann and Lucy. They're probably just going to be like reused stuff. They're probably just going to say stuff like, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you're doing well, because if you see for example, like the Disney parks, they do their holiday spectacular every year, which they are probably not going to do this year. They do their Christmas parade on TV, and they usually do a bunch of performances and promotes like the cruise line and stuff, which again, they're probably not going to do this year. They had a bunch of people just say I hope you guys having a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and whatever. So I think it's just going to be Lincoln, Lucy, and Ronnie and just being oh hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. I mean, I'm going to watch it just to see if anything interesting happens, but I think they're just going to appear as saying little Christmas greetings and just be there for a minute and then back to, I don't know, somebody performing a song or whatever. But again, if you want to check that out and just see the little cameos from Lincoln, Ronnie, and Lucy, that'll be the All-Star Nickmas Spectacular on November 28th at 9 p.m. So you can see that after you watch Cursed a bunch of times like I am. You can see that little special, and that'll be kind of interesting to watch. Again, I'm not really interested in watching it myself, but after hearing that Lincoln, Lucy, and Ronnie Ann will appear from in there as just little cameos, that'll be really cute. So, I'll check it out just to report about it during that time. All right, let's jump over to some comic news. So we had comics come out recently. I didn't get to talk about the Loud House Winter Special comic that came out a couple of weeks ago, or even a month ago. Was that a month ago? Yeah, I think it was a month ago in October. The Winter Special came out, and I never got to talk about it. I don't know why. I will say my little brief, short summary of what I thought about the Winter Special. Again, I was disappointed that the Winter Special wasn't a crossover, and so that was kind of I was kind of disappointed by that, but I liked the Winter Special. It was nice to get some Casagrande stories in there, especially a lot of Sidani comics. There was a lot of Sidani comics, which I really enjoyed, and I liked it a lot. I think it's one of the best ones that came out this year, despite there being a disappointing track of very not so good comics this year. To me personally, the Winter Special was a highlight of this year, being a really good comic, because again, balancing Loud House and Casagrande comics, and again, it was nice to get Ronnie and Sid comics in the Winter Special. So I will say I did enjoy the Winter Special. Not it's probably the best one that came out this year. But we also had Who's the Loudest come out maybe a week or two ago. But yeah, it just came out. I will read the stories here as they're up here from Who's the Loudest. The stories in this comic are I Know Where You Shopped Last Summer, Homesickness, Musical Myrtle, Ocean 11, Freedom Be Me, Snack Attack, That's a Wrap, Macabre Munchies, I don't know how to say that, Cannonball Run, Customer Appreciation, Robot Rumpus, Hook, Line, and Sinker, 1-2 Switcheroo, and Who's the Loudest. So Jeff Whitman, the editor of Paper Cuts, did post 4 sneak peeks from the upcoming comics, and I thought that 2 of them was going to be from Who's the Loudest, but then I checked the tweet that he made and it said that it was art from Loud House Comic 11 and 12, which 12 is coming out next year. So when I saw these sneak peeks, I saw one with Ronnie Ann and her friends, and I was like, wait, that's probably from the next comic that's coming out, Who's the Loudest. But spoiler alert, if you haven't read the new comic yet, there's no Ronnie Ann comic in any of this comic. Like, she's not in any single, story in this comic for the first time ever when they put Casagrande stories into a Loud House, into a Loud House comic. There's no Ronnie Ann, not even a cameo. Sergio and Lalo dressed up as her in a comic, but she's not in any of these, which I'm really disappointed about. Like, why would you do my girl dirty like that? But again, she is gonna be the next one, which I'm like, okay, fine, that's fine, but never do that to my girl ever again. Remember, Ronnie Ann is a main character. Don't be forgetting to make stories about Ronnie Ann, the main character of the Casagrandes. I'm just saying. Jeff apologized to me. I'm like, and that's okay, Jeff, but never have them make that same mistake again. I swear. So yeah, that kind of ruined my excitement for the comic, because after I found out that there was no story with Ronnie Ann and Who's the Loudest, I'm like, well, okay, that's a bummer, because that's my girl. Like, don't be doing my girl dirty like that. But then they had a story about Bobby deciding to take a job at Royal Woods Pool, where the Louds with Lori are spending the day at the Royal Woods Pool. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, come on. Like, I get it. Bobby can have multiple jobs, but did he really just, like, leave the Mercado, pack up everything, was like, okay, bye, Mercado, everything, bye, I don't care about working there for, like, a bunch of days in the summer, I'll just go work in Royal Woods, where I have to commute 3 hours each day, it just felt so weird to me that they decided to do that, but, oh well, what can you do? But, as for the comic itself, I think it was fine, again, I'm just really upset that the Casagrande comics had no Ronnie Ann whatsoever. Again, not even a cameo, come on, not even a cameo. Like, she had, like, a cameo in Carlota's one, where, like, there were people, like, she had her own, like, social media post, but that was it, like, not her actually physically appearing. But, the comics were fine in this one, again, not anything special, but if you want to get it yourself, you can, because, I'm getting every issue, even though I didn't particularly care about many of them that came out this year, but it was still a nice read, not an amazing one, but still a nice one. Just, the stories were fine, but again, not amazing. But again, I'm hoping that this next one that's coming out will be better, because again, don't be doing my girl dirty like that again. I'm just saying, Paper Cuts, that's what I'm complaining about. No Ronnie in this issue? Come on. Like, really? Really? But, at the end of the comic for Who's the Loudest, they did put Link in his magician suit again, showing that Link is still likes magic, so you get 1 point from me there. But yeah, it was still a nice one, and it is out now, so make sure you go get Who's the Loudest anywhere, bookstore, Google Books, ebooks, wherever you get comics at. It is available now to purchase. And finally, the last piece of news for the Loud House and the Casagrandes, of course, is finally updates from the Loud House and the Casagrandes YouTube page. So, I'm trying to remember where I last left off on this. I actually don't remember. I think I left off where they posted a sneak peek from Kernel of Truth. So yeah, because I haven't done it in a while. Because the last 2 guests I had, I was like, I wanted to do updates, but then I was like, man, maybe not. I'll skip a couple of times. But yeah, now I can't remember where I left off. But so we've had a bunch of updates since I last did the show. So I think I started with Lincoln Investigates the Popcorn Thief, a clip from Kernel of Truth. Then we had 13 Spookiest Loud House and Casagrande Moments, a compilation clip. Then we had Which Loud Sister is Missing Challenge, which they posted before. Then we had a clip from Strife of the Party, Lana's birthday plan to get ruined. Then we had Stinkiest Loud House Moments. They're running out of ideas. A Terrible Roommate Just Moved In, a clip from New Roomie. Luna's rocky start with her new band, a clip from Band Together. A clip from Not Allowed, Lincoln Switched at Birth, which I love that episode. Then we had Lori and Bobby break up, their most dramatic moments together, which again, why do we need a lobby compilation like this? I don't know. Like, I love lobby, but most dramatic moments, okay? And then a video speeds up with someone said Thanksgiving, a clip from the last Thanksgiving. And then we had a day in the life of Lincoln Loud, which they had one of these back a long time ago with Ronnie Ann, where they did a day in the life of Ronnie Ann. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll do a follow-up of Lincoln. So now they did. They did one of those, which was really cute. And then today, we had Most Delicious Food from Loud House and Casagrandes, another compilation clip. So I had checked a while back, and the playlist for the vlog was updated a few days ago with a private video. So a vlog is there to upload, Nickelodeon. It's probably one related to Thanksgiving, and I'm hoping they'll release it this week or maybe next week. Probably next week, but I feel like they should upload it this Sunday, because, again, with the Loud House of Casagrandes YouTube page, they only update on Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays for some reason. I don't know why not Saturday, but some reason Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And I was hoping, well, maybe Thursday they'll upload it because of the promo for Cursed, and no, they didn't. Then I was thinking, well, maybe today. No, they didn't. So I'm hoping, again, if it's a Thanksgiving-related vlog, then maybe they'll post it on Sunday. But I say that and it won't happen, but who knows, But again, the vlog was updated, there's a private video in that playlist. So there is a vlog that has to come out. Because again, we got one for Halloween, which was a surprise to us that the vlogs came back again. So I'm thinking, well, they're probably back, and they have one for Thanksgiving, so maybe they'll post it on Sunday. Maybe they will, because they have a sneak peek for Cursed in there. I'm hoping there will be, but if it's after Thanksgiving, they post it on they post the day of Thanksgiving, that'd be kind of nice, when they actually post it that day to give us a little treat. It's like, hey, it's Thanksgiving, they actually post it on Thanksgiving. Yeah, that would make sense, actually, if they do post it on Thanksgiving, because it's on a Thursday, so if they wait till then for that vlog, that'll be nice. But again, that's all the updates from the Loud House and Casagrandes YouTube page. So again, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube page, it's the Loud Casa YouTube page. Please subscribe to it, because they post every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday of new, compilations and fun videos or whatever. Whatever they post, there'll be fun stuff. So again, make sure you check out the Loud House and Casagrandes YouTube page, because I do talk about it here, just so people are aware that the YouTube page is there and it does update stuff from time to time. So yes, that is all the news for this week for the Loud House and the Casagrandes. Of course, with our news alert, finally back talking about the news on the podcast. So for the Cursed episode, talking about what's going to be next for the podcast, with some upcoming things coming out. So, on the day of the 25th, which is when Cursed is coming out, myself, Saran, Nat, and Nate are going to be doing another Casa Live section talking about the Cursed special. Because again, we are all very excited for this special, and we can't wait to talk about it. So we decided to do it the night of, because of course the episode's coming out, the episode's premiering at 1 p.m. on that day. So it's like, we'll do it at night, so we're fresh with it, and we can talk about it. And I think we're going to overanalyze the entire special, clip by clip, scene by scene of the special, because again, we're so excited for it. And I did ask Nate and me if I could be on their show for Cursed. I don't know if they remember me asking them to do it, but hopefully they do. But as for me, I don't know what I'm going to do for Cursed, because I'm really excited for it, but I don't know what I'm going to do for me. I was thinking about having 2 guests on for Cursed, but I just don't know who wants to come on to talk about it, because I haven't thought about which guests want to come on for Cursed. Because I like having 1 guest, but I thought about it because this is a big special, with the Loud House of Casagrandes crossover. I wanted to have 2 guests. I might have to decide this week of what I'm going to do, because I am really excited to talk about it on my show, of course. But I'm going to be talking about it a lot on other shows as well. So, I'm just really excited to talk about Cursed. I can't wait for it. Again, it's my most anticipated episode of this year. It's my most anticipated episode of anything since Horoscope. So, we're all excited to talk about Cursed. So, yeah. So, next week, I will have a show, talking about Cursed. I just don't know who I'm going to have on as guests. If you're interested in coming on to the show talking about Cursed, I do have 2 spots available. So, you can DM me at CasaLoud Chats or at my main Twitter, XSunnyEclipse, and you can ask me to come on the show. And then I'll figure out who wants to come on for Cursed then. And as for the Christmas episodes, I probably will try to have a guest on for the Christmas episodes who wants to talk about the Casagrandes Loud House Christmas episodes. But if not, then maybe I'll just do a solo show for that. So yes, if you have any questions about the podcast or want to discuss the podcast with me, you can contact me over at XLClips on Twitter or at the podcast's Twitter, CasaLoud Chats. And we'll see you all next time on CasaLoud Chats.